What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Henotic Path Podcast. My name is Joshua. I'm your host. Today, I want to talk to you guys about initiation, rites of passage. What is initiation, and why have we lost it? Why have we lost the rite of passage in the West? And what does this mean? And how is this playing out in society for us? So, before we get started, I want to mention the sponsor of the podcast is Henotic Hemp CBD supplements. Henotic Hemp offers a wide range of oils, capsules, topicals, and gummies to help you feel, move, sleep, think, and be your best self, the way that nature always intended. We use all natural cannabinoids, organically sourced ingredients, and combine different formulations for different purposes. My favorite is the Mind Caps. It's a nootropic, helps me think clear. I took some today, took some before the podcast. Just helps me get in the zone, helps me get in the flow better. So definitely check out the Henotic Hemp website at henotichemp.com. And if you want to get something, use the code Henotic Path Podcast to save 20%. All right. So let's get into it. Initiation is something I've been thinking about a little bit recently. This is something that I see we kind of lost. I think initiation and rites of passage is something that we did for most of our history, and only until recently have we just lost our interest in it, and we don't really do anything in regards to the idea of initiation and rites of passage. But what is initiation? So initiation is a structured transition from one identity into another. Now, I'm going to be speaking on the transition from being a boy into a man, right? And being a girl transitioning into a woman. When does that happen, right? So in our culture, if you live in America, Western culture, there's some practice of initiation, maybe in like the Jewish community with bar mitzvah, or in a religious community with the idea of baptism. But, you know, if you come from a military family, maybe you join the military when you turn 18, and then your family recognizes you as an adult. But for most of society, there is no real initiation, right? This creates what I think is a lot of adults who are still very much children, because there was never a clear point in time where it was like, okay, I'm a boy, I'm a girl, I'm going into this experience, and when I come out of it, I'm going to be a man or a woman. Like I'm going to be a grown up now. We have, the idea of maybe when you turn 18, you become an adult. You can get certain things and buy certain things. Get into R-rated movies. I guess maybe that's 17, but is it when you turn 21 and you go out to the bar and you drink for the first time, legally, and then you can purchase alcohol? Does that make you an adult? I certainly don't think so. But this idea of initiation, it's a very serious thing, and I think it's something that we need to bring back into our lives, like quickly, because if we just stop and look around and we look at the state of the world, we see that there are many people who are very disconnected from themselves and have no idea what it means to be an adult and what it means to live a life of responsibility and sacrifice and meaning, right? So, the idea of initiation, it usually involves a pretty hard experience. Typically, right? Something involving like separation. You have to overcome an ordeal or challenge. There's obviously the transformation involved, and then there's the reintegration into the community and the recognition of, okay, this person passed the test, right? So I think from what I've been thinking about lately, there's quite a difference between men and women, right? Um, Women, if they so choose, kind of have an initiation and a transition from girl to woman, from child to adult, if they choose to bear a child, if they choose to birth a child, carry, have a baby, grow the baby inside of their bodies, and then birth the baby out of their bodies, like that's full on initiation. It doesn't get, I don't think, more intense than that. So for women, it's kind of built in, if they so choose to have a child. Also, the idea of getting your period as a girl. I think we used to celebrate that. Like that used to be like a big deal, and like there was a celebration, there was a ceremony, like it was a big recognition of like, okay, this girl has now entered into womanhood. She can create human beings inside of her body now. That's a huge thing, and something that we've completely lost. Like we more so now frame menstruation as an inconvenience or even an embarrassment, right? When we should absolutely be celebrating that event, as we should be celebrating menopause when a woman transitions into old age and she can no longer have children. Like these are big events that we just brush under the rug, or we see as like no big deal or whatever, or even an inconvenience. And I think we're doing a great disservice to ourselves, our species, our collective consciousness, whatever you want to call it, when we just, blow over these events like they're no big deal, or even worse, make them into bad things. So, for women, the initiation, the meaning, the transition from child to adult, from girl to woman, nature's kind of built it in, which is a beautiful thing, I think. Like, my wife and I, we just had our first baby almost 2 years ago now. And, like I find myself like thinking about my wife, and I'm like, man, she's got it. Like she's got the meaning, she's got the purpose. Like there it is. She's a mom now. Like she has the most important sacred job in the entire world. Whereas myself, like, yes, I'm a father now, which I hold very dearly and take very seriously. But like, there's like more. I gotta find more meaning. I have to do more. As a man, like there's just something in me that just wants to create and wants to have an impact in a positive way that goes way beyond myself and my family. That's me personally. Maybe not, that's not how every man feels, of course, but like for me personally, like that's a very important thing for me. So for me, I have sought out initiations in many different ways over the course of my life, like all kinds of different ways, and some very tumultuous and almost didn't make it through. So when I was in my 20s, I found opiates when I was 19 years old, and real quickly got hooked on them, got addicted, ended up getting into heroin, and spent most of my 20s battling severe opiate addiction. And that wasn't necessarily an initiation that I chose consciously, but I think subconsciously I did. I think subconsciously the choice for my soul, my essence, my being knew, like, okay, like we're gonna go into this cave, we're gonna go into this fire, and hopefully we make it out. All right. Thankfully I did. Obviously I'm here, right? But the battling of addiction, the battling of substance abuse that lasted well beyond even getting clean from opiates and, beating the addiction to heroin and pills and stuff like that. Like I struggled well into my 30s with substance abuse, with alcohol and amphetamines and different things, all kinds of stuff, right? And you might hear that and be like, wow, this guy's an idiot. Like, when is he going to learn his lesson? It's like, well, yeah, maybe, but I just have a real thick skull, and I have to test and test and test and test and retest until I know for sure that it's real. That, okay, I can't do this. I shouldn't do this. I don't want to do this thing anymore. I'm done with it. I've ran my course with the thing, whatever. Okay. So I've been in this fight to become the man that I know I'm capable of becoming. And I still have a long ways to go. I'm 36, gonna be 37 this year. I recognize that there is this part of me that is still very much a boy and very much just wants to seek comfort and seek, not go into discomfort and just be, easy peasy. Let me just sleep in. Let me, hit the snooze. Let me just scroll. I don't want to work outside in the yard, whatever it is, the silly little things that we have to do day to day, but then like all the big stuff. And it's like, I see myself and how I try to escape and how I try to avoid things. And that the escapism, that is what was so integral in all of the substance abuse stuff that I've gone through. It's like I was just trying to escape and I was trying to run and I was trying to like distract myself from growing up, from reaching my potential, from finding my true meaning, finding my path, my dharma. Like, it's a process, and again, going back to the idea that we don't have initiation, we don't have ritual, we don't have any rite of passage in our culture that I ever went through or got to go through that said, okay, now you're a man. And like, for most of history, we had that. We had that. And it's like, we look around, like, look at what's going on in the world with the shadow of the masculine, right? We have all the Epstein stuff that's come out. The worst parts of the masculine are just being shown to us left and right, left and right. There was a thing I saw about like 62,000 men visit a rape site for like date raping their wives and their partners and stuff. And there's like, they have like chat groups and like they, share tips on how to, rape their partners. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? What are we doing? Like, what is this, the masculine wound? Why is it so terrible? And so like, just the perpetuation of violence and suffering and just like manipulation and lying and brutality that we've gone through as a world and we continue to deal with. And yeah, it's not as bad as it used to be. I mean, depending on what part of the world you're in, I don't know. It's like it's the end of the world every day, depending on what part of the world you're in. Thankfully, by the grace of God, whatever, I was born in America, and if you're listening to this, you probably were too, and, it's mostly peaceful here. But, like, all of the worst stuff is perpetuated by men. And it's like, why? Why is that happening? Think about this. This idea, I thought about this recently, or saw a video on Instagram about it. This idea of circumcision, I think, has a lot to do with the collective shadow of the masculine and why men are just the way that they are. Within the first moments of being on Earth, being Earthside, in this body, we have the tips of our penises cut off. Like, think about that. The most sensitive part of the male body gets sliced and mutilated off of an infant's body. It has no defense. It can't do anything to stop it. And I don't think they use anesthesia. I don't know if they I don't think they use anesthesia, or I don't know if they use any kind of numbing stuff. I don't know how it works. Obviously, I had it done when I was born, unfortunately. I never had a say in it. I never had a choice. But the masculine, for most men in the Western culture, again, if you're born, you have your penis circumcised, and then that is how you start your existence. The body and the spirit and the soul remembers that trauma. Okay, we like to say, oh, they're an infant and they don't remember it. And like, okay, yeah, I don't remember it consciously, but subconsciously, you better remember that. And what is that? And every other man remembers that. And like, what has that done to us as men to just get us started in this world, right? Maybe that's something we should look at. Maybe that's something we should reassess. because that could very well be contributing to the collective shadow, the masculine shadow, this rape culture, this taking advantage of weaker people culture that so many weak ass men perpetuate. Because a strong man, a man who is in his divine masculine, who knows himself, who knows that he's fucking capable of things, capable of violence, capable of being dangerous, those men are the safest men to be around. Because they have a respect. They've looked at their darkness. They've looked at their shadow. They understand that, oh yeah, I'm capable of doing damage, but I'm going to control myself because I have people that depend on me. I have people to take care of. I have people that look up to me. I have my brothers and my sisters around me who I share life with. And I want to keep that boundary. I want to keep that respect. So, this idea that men... that masculinity is somehow a bad thing. It's not. We just need to shift our perspective and shift the way that we cultivate true masculinity. True masculinity. Like, our culture, again, it's so flawed. And it's like, it is what it is. We're all here learning what we came here to learn. So, like, if it's sports and sports betting and gambling, online gambling, and nicotine and alcohol and porn addiction and all of these things are the things that are controlling most men, then like we need to replace that stuff with better things. And like, how do we do that? How do we replace the distraction and the misery and there's this movie called Old School with Will Ferrell. It's a hilarious movie. And basically, this group of guys, they buy a house. This one guy buys a house, and it's on like real close to a college campus. And somehow the house gets zoned as being on the college campus, and they're going to lose the house if they can't if they can't start a fraternity. So they go through this whole thing to start a fraternity. And one of the guys at work finds out about it and approaches the guy who owns the house, and he's saying, "Hey man, I heard what's going on. I want in. He's like, I hate my life. He's like, I go golfing on the weekends. I hate golf. And it's like, how many men are doing that? How many of us men are doing these things that we don't really like? We don't really enjoy. They're not fulfilling to us at all, but it's just what we do, it's what we've always done. It's what we're going to always do. It just is what it is. And, like, no, fuck that. Fuck that. Like, dude, if you aren't happy, like, you got to do things to change. And it's hard, and it takes a lot of work, and it takes time and energy. And it's like, yeah, and oh my God, we're exhausted. And oh my God, just trying to get by and pay the bills and survive is like, I don't have time to think about anything else. But it's like, okay, well, it's your life. Figure it out if you want to. I don't want to sound like I'm preaching or trying to hype up the guys too much, because it's not what this is about. This is about initiation, and this is about the importance of it. And, from my journeys, from my experience, what I've gone through as a man, I have found certain things that can be like an initiation, that can serve as a rite of passage. And I've sought these things out over and over and over again. I want to share with you this quote from Carl Jung that, God, it came to me in December of 2025. I had gone through one of the darkest times. 2025, the whole year was brutal. Just one thing after another, one challenge after another, one just like mind fuck. Like, what just happened? Why did that happen? 2025 was tough. So by the end of the year, it was like the climax of the tough year. And I went through this thing with a substance, and it was a very dark time. And I knew when I was getting into it that I was watching myself give in to this, let's say, dance with this substance. And I knew it wasn't going to be a good idea, but I also knew like I trust myself to do the right thing and to make it through it. Okay, and then I went through what I went through. Very, very hard experience. Like, you know, the worst things, just like writing my note to say goodbye type stuff. Like I was there. And I came across this quote. It goes like this: "Only one who has risked the fight with the dragon and is not overcome by it wins the hoard. The treasure hard to attain. He alone has a genuine claim to self-confidence, and he has faced the dark ground of his self and thereby has gained himself. This experience gives some faith and trust in the ability of the self to sustain him, for everything that menaced him from inside, he has made his own. He has acquired the right to believe that he will be able to overcome all future threats by the same means. He has arrived at an inner certainty which makes him capable of self-reliance." We all have a dragon that we're dancing with, right? Some are big, some are small, whatever it is. We can seek out bigger dragons to slay. Yeah, we can go deep into ourselves. That's what this was. This was me going deep into myself, deep into nihilism, deep into this idea that nothing matters. Nothing. And I walked right up to the precipice of that and looked into the abyss and like, yeah, saw that dragon. I saw that dragon. And I came out the other side, right? I just want to say very clearly that I am not in any way, shape, or form suggesting anyone try addiction as a dragon. Okay, I'm going to get to the thing that I think is the proper way to initiate ourselves in just a second here, but I just want to make it very clear that addiction is no joke. It robs you of so much. It takes from you, but it takes from your loved ones, I think maybe more. Okay, when you really get addicted to a substance and you're an addict, you lie to the people you love the most, you steal from people you care about, you become a monster. And it is not something that I would wish upon anyone. I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. Some of us have to go through that, whatever. But I just want to make it very clear that I'm not in any way, shape, or form suggesting that addiction be your dragon and your route to initiation. Okay, this is just my personal story. Okay. Now, let's get to the initiation that has been the most impactful for me in the most positive way, because you can go through trauma and hard-ass things that aren't good for you. You can go through something very difficult that leaves you more traumatized, that leaves you, you got to recover from it. You got to heal from it. There's also hard things and hard experiences you can go through that don't give you that aren't traumatizing. They are transformative. Okay. Now, for me, the most transformative things that I have found, the most initiatory type experiences that I have found have been with plant medicines. Okay. Specifically, ayahuasca, DMT, mushrooms, combo is a tough one. That's a challenge. These medicines, these plant medicines, when offered to us in the right setting, in a safe environment, with a good guide, with somebody who knows what they're doing, who has compassion and love and truly cares and wants to help the people that they're serving the medicine to, those experiences are unlike anything else, because it is the separation, it is the ordeal and the challenge, and it offers the transformation when you get through it, which you will get through the journey. No matter how hard the journey gets on these plant medicines, you get through it and you make it through to the other side. The sun rises, you come back, and you have something that you know is real. Let's say that. Right? Because how much of our world is just fake and just like, it's just bullshit. It's just, none of it's meaningful. Like, not to knock on anything, but like, I've been baptized a couple times. I was raised very Christian, and the idea of being born again in religion, like, that's a serious thing to be born again. And it's like, if you have no fear and it's super comfortable and the water's lukewarm and you just got to get in the tub and go under real quick, and then, now you're, now you're free, now you're saved, now you washed all your sins away. It's like, nah, man, that's not how it works. That's not how it worked for me. I'll just say it's not how it worked for me. Saying a few words and, no, I don't believe in you, save me from this. It's like, no, that there's no stakes. There's nothing there. There's nothing there to lose. There's no risk. Taking a plant medicine has risk. Like, it's not for everybody. Certainly not for everybody. You have to go through a screening process. You have to know for like, you have to be safe. You can't be on certain medications. If you deal with certain mental what's the word? Mental challenges. You have to be careful when you approach these things. It's not just for everybody, and you don't just want to dive into the deep end of the pool without any preparation, any experience, because that could cause trauma. But if you do these things properly, if you do these things with preparation, you prepare yourself for literally months beforehand. You eat clean. You find time for stillness and meditation and prayer and connecting to God and spirit, and just being with yourself and thinking about, like, why do I want to do this thing? Like, what is the purpose of it? What is my intention? It's a very important part of the plant medicine process. What is my intention? If you do that stuff, then you're gonna be okay. You're gonna get through it. And then on the back side of it, if you go to a proper place that provides good integration support, then you're gonna have this. You're gonna have the community, right? When you go through a process like an ayahuasca retreat, you do it with multiple people, and when you are done with that thing, you guys are brothers and sisters forever, like, for real. Like, you are family. And again, if you go to a good place that provides good integration support, follow-up calls, and you're talking a month after the retreat, 2 months after the retreat, how you guys doing, how's everything going, how's your integration going, that's how you do it properly. Okay. And what this all is about, this initiation, this thing, what the plant medicine is about, is letting the old self die off. It's going into the cave of yourself, going into the shadows of yourself, and confronting the things that need to be let go of and healed. And it doesn't always need to be this big, hard, dramatic thing. It can be very beautiful and light and peaceful, but you get both. There's definitely both that happen. I've had transformative experiences. I just had one a couple weekends ago, very unexpectedly. I was hanging out with some very good brothers of mine, and we dove into the space, but not in a ceremonial, like, very, like, sacred way. Just like, we're just gonna jump into the space and we're gonna have a good time. Like, we were having fun, and somehow I had this breakthrough experience, and, like, it's real. Like, it's just like, I went through the thing, and there was no fear, there was no, like, preparation, there was no, like, oh my gosh, I'm going into this weekend with my buddies and I'm gonna come out a different man. It was just like, no, I'm going to hang out and have fun, and, like, God just met me there. Okay, right? So that can happen, but also too, like, more so, it's more likely to happen if you do it in a sacred and disciplined way, where you prepare, you go to a place that serves the medicine with deep respect, and you go through the journey with other people. You go to the medicine, the ayahuasca, you vomit, you purge out your demons, you let go of your demons. By the way, a little side note, I saw this video this morning or yesterday about this demon, infected person that was at that went to this Catholic church, and they were up at the front of the church, and you could hear the demon like coming out, like it was like, it was very demonic sounds, and like of course check the comments, and it's like everything in the comments is so fear based, so like get these demons out of here. We need to condemn the demons and kill the demons and slay the demons. And it's like, where's a person supposed to go if they have a demon in them? Wouldn't you think that it would be a church? Like that would be a safe place to get a demon out of you? No, that's not. They're gonna call the police and have you put in handcuffs and taken out of the church and say, we just got attacked by Satan, everybody, but thank God we called the authorities and they came and took care of it. If you ever done like breath work or been in a psychedelic circle, done like Bufo or DMT, Changa, or ayahuasca, like sometimes people make noises like that are demonic. And it's like, what's happening there? For me personally, when I see that, I'm like, let's go, baby. Like, yes, brother, yes, sister, release your demons. Be free of your demons. Like, let that shit go. And we're all going to hold the space. And because we're strong, because we know that we have dominion and sovereignty over ourselves, over our spirits, over our bodies, over our beings, over our minds, and we have protected ourselves, we're not going to absorb that shit. That demon can go wherever it needs to go. It can be set free. That's what needs to happen, right? We need to like change this perspective of demons being scary and evil and like something that only an exorcist can go out to someone's house to, help, and it needs to be very, off limits, and like nobody needs to get close to this person. Like, what if we realized how fucking powerful we all are, our humanity, our divinity, what we truly are at our cores? We're not these meat suits, these minds, these ideas, these egos. Like, but that's all gonna fall away in, like, for me, another 60 years, maybe. Like, I don't know. Like, it's a blip. Like, what's real in me is gonna continue on, and what's real in me is powerful, and it's strong, and it's true. It's never been born. It'll never die. It's like, it is it. And like, if we can wake up to that and realize that more and more and more people can realize that you don't need this thing between you and God. You are God. You're connected to God always. Like, then maybe we can actually cast some demons out. And like, we need to. Like, the Epstein demons need to be cast out. We need to take the people who are responsible for the worst crimes and make an example out of them. They need to be hung. We need to bring the gallows back. 100%. Fully I believe that. And fully I support that. Like, it's just, they've done what they've done. So they've chosen to act in a certain way. Now they should pay the price for their actions. And it's okay. It's not like judging them, condemning them to hell. Whatever, they fucked up. Like, okay, now you got to pay for it, and good luck in the next life. All right. Like, you guys are probably thinking, I am nuts. Like, this guy's nuts. What the fuck is he talking about? Yeah, man, demons are a real thing, and like, where do we go to get them out? It's not the church. It's like, I don't know, a medicine circle, not to like scare anybody or like, but it just, for me personally, like a breath work event, where I see somebody shaking, convulsing on the ground, screaming out like bloody murder. Like, I'm like, let's go. Thank you. You're healing for all of us. You're letting go of a lot of shit for all of us. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. That's a very sacred thing. So, all right, I don't know where I was going with the demon story. Plant medicines. We're talking about plant medicines, initiation, rites of passage. What these things can offer you guys. So, all right, so to wrap this up, I'm organizing a ayahuasca retreat here in Michigan, in Washtenaw County, where plant medicines are decriminalized. They're not, they're not a big deal. So we can practice in peace and safety. I found a beautiful place, a literal temple on 27 rolling acres with a river. It's an absolutely beautiful, gorgeous setting, very comfortable. And I have a dear friend of mine, an ayahuasca facilitator coming to Michigan from France to serve us the medicine. It's going to be an incredible weekend. This is going to be the third one that we've done at this place, and I hope we do many more. But each time it's incredible. Each time it's amazing, and people leave truly transformed, like truly transformed. Again, going back to this idea of true, what is actually real and true? Like, what experiences do you get in this life that are like undeniably real and true? There's very few, right? But you can seek out these things. You can seek out these experiences and come to things like this and really, do some work. Like, do some real work to heal yourself and to let go of the traumas and the judgments and all the stuff that you carry that you don't need to carry. Like, you don't need to carry so much. We walk around just bogged down with stuff, man. And it's like, you don't go once. Like, this is a thing that, for me at least, and many people I know on this path, like, this is something that you do on a regular basis. It's maintenance. It's cleaning. It's like, you don't get your oil changed in your car one time. You have to come back to the medicine, come back to the practice, come back, because as soon as you leave the retreat, life is waiting for you, and you're going to go back to the same places, same circumstances, the same people. And unless you are like really, really, really dialed and you have a really good plan, you might fall back into some old patterns. And that's okay. It's part of the process. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to a retreat and then like a couple weeks later been like right back into like my old self and just like thinking like, what the hell am I doing? But it all makes a difference, and it all is added up to where I'm at currently, like 100%. Like, I'm integrating experiences and lessons from 2021 still. Like, a Bufo experience I did in 2021 came through the last week, and I just saw it and realized like what was going on and what happened. Like, these things, they'll keep working in you forever. Like, the medicine, once it's in you, it works in you forever. And it's like, how much do you want to work with it? And how much do you want to continue to heal? And do you want to go from being a boy into a man? Do you want to go from being a girl into a woman? Do you want to go from a child to an adult? Because with our society, like, for guys, again, for girls, they have, the birth thing. But for guys, like, you can coast, man. You can coast your whole life and never really grow up because everything is done. Everything is taken care of. Like, we go to the grocery store to get groceries. Something breaks, we can call somebody to fix it. Like, power's on. Like, everything's done. Like, there's no big barriers to like survival. Like, we don't have anything to unless we choose. There's just not a lot that gives us actual true deep meaning and purpose and like shows us our path. Having children is a really good way to grow up. I will say that for sure. For guys too. Like, yeah, it's not just for girls. If you're a man and you choose to have a family and you raise the family and you're a good husband and good father, that's an initiation for sure. For sure. But there's so much more is what I'm getting at. There's just so much more that we can have and experience and do as men. And it's just as people, just as men and women together, brothers and sisters, like, we can really make a difference if we choose to. Like, the ripples that are created from one positive decision, like, we don't know how far that goes. We have no clue, So, yeah, think about coming to this retreat. It's going to be July 24, 25, and 26. We're going to be sitting with ayahuasca twice. We're going to do combo together for those who want it. Combo is a beautiful detoxifying South American technology that's been used for 5,000 years to prepare warriors and hunters to go into the jungle. It just like completely cleanses you, cleans you out, gets everything just super sharp. We're going to do that. We're going to have cacao to close the weekend out, which is a beautiful way to really just, close the weekend. We're going to drink this really, kind of nasty brown liquid to start. And then we're going to drink this really, just delicious brown liquid that's sweet and warm and soothing and heart opening to finish, So we're going to go full circle with it. We got really good things available for preparation and for integration. Resources I'm working on a bunch of different resources for the integration, especially. And we got a WhatsApp community that we're building, our Rise Collective community. That's the theme of the retreat. That's the theme of our medicine community is rise, like the phoenix. Like let's rise. Let's rise from our ashes. Let's die to the old self and rise from our ashes so that we can make the world a little bit more heaven and a little less hell. Like that's a pretty good goal, I think, that we could have. So yeah, check that out. That should be in the link all around this video, the link in my bio, the link in the Henotic Spirit Center bio. There's a website with an application form that you have to fill out, but it has all the information. And guys, and in closing, if, plant medicines are not for everybody, like I said, if this is not at all of interest to you, that's totally okay. It's totally fine. But seek out some kind of initiation for yourself. Go climb a mountain. I don't know. Go hunt an elk. Go on a backpacking journey. Like do something that's gonna change you as a human being. Like break the mold, break the cycle. Because for me, like I was just 30. I'm 30. I'm gonna be 37. I'm gonna be 40. I'm gonna be 50. Like that. And it's like we're all doing that. And it's like we just do the same thing every single day. Like in our lives just are gonna fly by us, and nothing's ever gonna change. And we're not gonna change. We're not gonna grow. We're not gonna experience much. So yeah, seek out the initiation, seek out the rites of passage, and let's maybe start a new way. Let's maybe return to the old ways, where we have elders, true elders. Elders are people who never stop learning. They never stop growing. Okay, we don't have elders really. That's not a thing. Older people, they get very calcified and closed off, and this is the way it is. And always going to be like this. And it's like, no. Wise people continue to learn always. They continue to learn through their entire life. The ultimate form of wisdom is to return to being a child again. So let's be the ones who cultivate that, and let's raise our children in ways where we initiate them and we give them the rites of passage safely, with consent, with respect. But let's, I think I envision a future where we do more of that. So, all right, guys. Well, that about does it for this one. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening. This is a brand new thing that I'm doing and just getting started. So, every follow, every like, every click, everything makes, supports me in a huge way. I think I got something positive to share with the world. So if you think so too, share this episode with somebody you love, share this episode on social media, wherever. And then definitely check out the retreat info if you're interested in that. And henotichemp.com. Henotic Path Podcast to save 20% on supplements. So, okay, guys, be well, be blessed, and I will talk to you on the next one.